today's lecture, Shri Yeshwant Kumar, Jethwa, IPS Director of Vigilance. My dear colleagues and students, good afternoon to all and welcome you all for this Vigilance Awareness lecture. May I now invite our Director, Professor Sudha Prada, and our Chief Guest, Shri Yeshwant Kumar Jethwa, to come to the dais and update us. We welcome both our Director and our Chief Guest with a flower bucket. The main theme for this year Vigilance Awareness Week is Corruption-Free India for a Developed Nation. On this occasion, we have invited Shri Yeshwant Kumar Jethwa, IPS officer from Bhubaneswar. He kindly accepted the invitation even in his busy schedule and wishes to deliver the Vigilance Awareness lecture. Without any further delay, we will start the lecture. And it is my immense pleasure to introduce Shri Yeshwant Kumar Jethwa, IPS officer. Shri Yeshwant Kumar Jethwa did his bachelor degree in electrical and engineering at the Victoria Jubilee Technical Institute, Mumbai. Master degree in police management from Osmania University, Hyderabad, and also did Masters of Arts in Human Rights at Pondicherry University, Pondicherry. He qualified Indian Police Service, IPS, that is Odisha Cadre RR 1994 batch. He held various positions in Odisha. He started his career as a superintendent of police at various districts in Odisha, which includes Kendrapada, Rayagada, Sundarkar, Jagtsinghpur, and Baleshwar. Then he moved to Cuttack as an assistant transport commissioner. He served as Deputy Inspector General of Police, DIG, at the Eastern Range, Baleshwar, and Western Range, Rourkela. He promoted as Inspector General of Police, that is IG, at the Western Range of Rourkela and the Southwestern Range, Korapur. Then he served as IG SPG, that is a Special Protection Group under Ministry of Home Affairs, New Delhi from 2015 to 2020 as an in charge of Prime Minister Security. He returned back to Odisha again as an additional Director General of Police, Law and Order, State Police Headquarters, Odisha and Cuttack. Currently, he is the Director, Vigilance, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. In recognition to the public service, he received several awards and honors. To name few, he received Governor's Medal for Outstanding Service in 2006, President's Police Medal for Meritorious Service in 2010, SPG Medal for Outstanding Services in Special Protection Group, Utkrist Seva Pathak in 2020, and the President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service in 2020. With this brief introduction, without any further delay, may I now invite Shri Yeshwant Kumar Jethwa IPS to deliver the Vigilance Awareness lecture.
Thank you very much. The head of NISER, Mr. Srinivasan, other faculty members, students. It's a pleasure coming here to this Institute of Excellence to know more about this place and in the process to share some thoughts on the occasion of Vigilance Awareness Week. Professor Srinivasan, in his short talk, referred 5 times as lecture, vigilance lecture. That really made me a bit shaky because ever since you leave an educational institute, you forget this word lecture. And I thought I was coming here for interaction, but then in that 5 minutes, I realized I am back to a academic institution and everything is a lecture. So let this not be considered as a lecture. Yes, some thoughts based on the work that we are doing. As he has said, I'm heading the Anti-Corruption Bureau in the state of Odisha. So we focus on corrupt practices by public servants and we act against corrupt practices as per the Prevention of Corruption Act. And in this field, we also guide various departments on prevention. Though our work is primary punitive, where we detect, investigate, and put up corrupt practices for trial for punitive action. But we think that prevention is more important than punitive actions. So we also keep on guiding various government departments, public sectors, and whoever on preventive aspects. Vigilance Awareness Week is a standard practice once every year. Such practices have a lot of importance because they give us a reason to bring these ideas back to our mind, focus on them, do some introspection, look back at the work that is being done in this field. Otherwise, in the busy schedules of our professional life, we lose track of many things. So, coming to the issue of corruption, which is central to vigilance and vigilance awareness and thoughts around vigilance, will some give you some idea about what corruption is. We all know the definition that is most normally used is the abuse of public office for private gain. More importantly, how big is this problem? You are all students, and then there are a few faculty. So, is this issue that important that we should be worried about it? Is this issue affecting us, or it is just affecting the poor? Does it just concern those who are living in those thatched houses, and because they are not educated, they are victims of corruption? Or is it a phenomenon that affects us? And does it affect us more? Some points that will give you an idea of the dimension of corruption. Again, these are not very accurate estimates because no one is able to make a accurate guesstimate of the magnitude of this problem. But these are the organizations whom we respect as most professional in these fields. The World Economic Forum, they have estimated that the world corruption, the cost of corruption is about 5% of the global GDP. and think in monetary terms, it comes to somewhere around $3.5 trillion. So this is the problem. This is the issue. And this is why we need to think about it. The World Bank says that world over, about $1 trillion are paid in bribe. Transparency International did a survey, and they did not survey people in Odisha or people in India. I think the figures would have been even more stark, but they have surveyed people globally, and they found 25% of people said that they've paid bribes. I can ask people sitting here to raise their hand if they have paid bribes, and we may get a different answer. But in a nutshell, the problem is huge. In a nutshell, the problem is more important for us than for the poor. The poor has got attuned to living in his conditions, but we are not. The problem is grave because for a student, it can rob him of his opportunity, of a better education, of a better institution where he could have been, of a better job opportunity. When someone indulges in a corrupt practice and takes away the job that a legitimate claimant should have got, that's when corruption hits us. As parents, it is affecting our families. It is going to affect our children more and more. It will make life difficult if we don't think about it. So this is the reason why we need to think about this. Because unless we have a broad idea or a fair idea of the problem, its causes, its effects, we will not be thinking about it. And the next the next point comes, what can I do about it? Because finally, if it is a problem that is going to affect you, then you have to do something about it. As a citizen, number of things. As a student, something more. As a student of science and research, many more things. As a student of an institute of excellence like NICER, you should be taking leadership positions to deal with it in future. So the effects of corruption, large number of studies world over, they've listed out how corruption is bringing down investments. And when it brings down investments, again, the indirect effect is on the generation that is going to benefit the most out of investments. The more India loses, the more Odisha loses, the more this globe loses investments due to corruption, the more it affects the generation that is sitting here. It weakens the institutions, devalues democracy, rule of law. Again, to be living in a geographical area where the institutions are weak, where rule of law is weak, where democracy is not strengthened, it affects. It distorts markets, allocation of resources, hampers sustainable development, exacerbates inequality. So the poor remains poor, the middle class remain middle class, the affluent become more and more affluent. It erodes trust in the government and public functionaries. So then what are the causes of corruption? I'll brush through these in speed because then I want to come to the main point is what should we do about corruption. So some of the causes that lead to corruption, administrative delays, inbuilt discretion in the processes and the misuse of discretion, cumbersome procedures, plethora of rules, regulations, laws, and that is somewhere in that web. Corruption generates and corruption survives, sustains, and even grows. More and more interface between the buyer and the giver, the service provider and the service taker. Human interface is something that is also one of the cause of corruption. And to design tools to address these, we will have to keep in mind the causes and try to address these causes. When we talk to various agencies in the government and related sectors, we tell them that yes, there are 3 ways to deal with it. We are looking into the detection and we help in the punishment of corruption. But the best way to deal with a problem is to nip it in the bud. And for that, we recommend a lot of preventive aspects. And to prevent corruption, this is a huge area of research. This is a huge area of practice. Why is this important? Because detection not always results in punitive outcomes. Though in our Indian system, the laws are such and the judicial system is such that the process takes a long time. So even an innocent takes a long time to be adjudged an innocent. And therefore, the punitive outcomes, psychological outcomes on family and every other such outcomes are tremendous. Punitive vigilance is difficult. It's painful when we arrest a public servant for corrupt practice. We deprive him of his liberty. We send him to jail. He's charged. The media, the way it is, next day it is all over in the newspapers. And the pain is more to the family, the children. When they go to the school next day, most of their colleagues are aware that yesterday his father was arrested. More to the spouse. So we think that prevention is the best mechanism to deal with corruption. And for this, we suggest some steps where we recommend all organizations to look at their business processes, to look at their protocols, try to bring in more simplicity, removal of absolute rules, regulations, reducing the levels of decision making, reducing discretion, minimizing public interface, making visits to public offices less necessary or not necessary, bringing in moral and ethical values into the work that the employees are doing, raising the accountability levels, making your processes more time bound, more responsive, so that any delay will be red flagged and the supervisory actions can be initiated when such delays take place, having a feedback mechanism where any grievance would be, there would be a channel for grievance to be made and grievance to be looked at and grievance to be redressed. Adding transparency through various ways in your organization. And for all this, this is the most important tool, technology. And this is what I want to discuss with you. In a few slides, I will try to just focus your mind to an area where you can contribute the most. Technology is a double-edged sword, yes. It can help corruption and it can help in the fight against corruption. How it helps corruption, we all know. Not much needs to be discussed. It has brought in anonymity. You are sitting here, you can interact with someone in the US, you can transfer funds to someone in the US, you can change your identity, you can become a different person, and you can use various ways of secretive communication whereby you will not be identified. So technology has, we feel, all those who are working in this anti-corruption enforcement field, we feel that technology is helping corruption a lot. And you may also have been affected due to the negatives of technology, cyber crimes, in huge proportions world over, not in Odisha, not in India. They are more in the advanced nations. So it's not that advanced nations are better off and technology is affecting only India. Rather, it is affecting the advanced nations more. So huge amount of resources are getting leaked, huge amount of frauds, huge amount of corrupt practices are propagated by application of technology. We have this dark web where anyone can contact anyone in a secretive manner. We have now this completely new area of digital assets. In our anti-corruption work, what we do very simple things. The Prevention of Corruption Act says that anyone, he is a public servant, during his service tenure, if he has acquired assets which are disproportionate to his known source of income, then he is liable to be punished under the Prevention of Corruption Act. That's a huge tool. It is helping us. Because then we don't have to bother about an individual act of corruption and catching him while that act of corruption is going on. That is an area which we do, trap cases. You may have read it. Now and then it keeps on coming in newspapers. Someone was giving bribe and someone was taking bribe and he was caught red-handed. This red-handed word, do you know how it has come? Why do they say that this chief engineer was caught red-handed taking bribe? It is because of the anti-corruption agencies. Over a period of time, we have designed our protocols to generate evidence which will help us in prosecuting these people with adequate evidence in the court and to ensure that they get punishment. So what do? The Prevention of Corruption Act says that if anybody is being asked to pay bribe for any service that he needs from a public servant, then normally a bribe giver and bribe taker both are accused. But the Prevention of Corruption Act says that if you report to the competent authority, then you will not be liable. And they've kept a time frame. Either you report before you pay bribe or within 7 days of paying the bribe. If you go and report that this gentleman, I went to his office, I wanted this license, I wanted this certificate, I wanted this service, and he demanded this much bribe. I had no other option but to pay the bribe. I have paid him this much bribe and I am reporting. And if that is done within 7 days, then the bribe giver is not liable. So we use this aspect. And anyone approaching us, then we organize a trap. If he is willing to cooperate and if he is willing to testify before the court, then what we do is we put phenolphthalein powder on these notes, currency notes. And then he goes and he hands over the currency notes, and the bribe taker, when he accepts these notes, the phenolphthalein powder gets transferred to his palms. And once this transaction is over, the vigilance team immediately, which is close by, reaches there, catches the concerned public servant, makes him dip his hands in a solution which turns red. And that is how he was caught red-handed, has become the universal colloquial word to describe a bribe taker. So that is besides the point, and I'm digressing, but coming back to the topic that we are discussing. So technology is doing a lot to help them. Recently, we had a additional chief engineer of the rural water supplies department of government of Odisha. We knew through our secret verifications that he has generated a number of assets, and we knew his known sources of income through his income tax filings and his family's income tax filings and things like that. And we made an assessment that the assets that are existing are quite disproportionate to his known sources of income, and therefore we did the necessary processes and approvals and the warrants from the court, and we conducted the search. And when we went to this gentleman's house and we knocked his doors, he first threw a bunch of documents from his house, and then he threw away his mobile. He had cash. There have been instances when people throw away the cash when the vigilance teams reach there just to evade the action. They throw away the gold jewelry and things like that. But here is a gentleman throwing away a bunch of documents which look like some vouchers of some Reliance Fresh or things like that, with some barcode and something like that. So on an innocuous look, they can go away as documents or bills or something. But because he threw it, we thought that there has to be something more than money and gold in these vouchers. And we looked at that and we found that those were all crypto transactions and crypto wallets related documents. So the reason why I'm saying this is that how technology can help. So his entire assets, a large part of it are in the virtual medium, the crypto world. And yes, it's difficult, but they think it is not possible for agencies to identify and act against that. But it is difficult, but it is not as difficult to act against that. So we are now doing these crypto investigations to identify the corrupt practices. But yes, nowadays this red-handed up, जो मैं बता रहा था, that is also becoming difficult because now corrupt bribe takers are telling the bribe giver कि phone pay में transfer कर दीजिए. When the bribe that they are taking, they want it in phone pay. So then the guy comes to us कि सर आप बोल रहे हैं कि करेंसी नोट लेके जाना है और फिनॉल फिथलीन लगाना है और उसको पकड़ना है और लाल हाथ बनाना है. And we do it because the judiciary wants it. The judiciary needs to be convinced that yes, we haven't, because their principle is let 99 people go scot-free, but one innocent should not be hanged. So yes, that's a different problem. But so these things are making it difficult for agencies to deal with corruption. But at the same time, there's a lot in this technology that can help in dealing with corruption. That is, there is a lot that is already helping. There is a lot that can help. And there is a lot that you all sitting here as students, as faculty, as people into the field of science and research can and should do. And I was asking your senior faculty as to how good is the partnership between academics and administration. Because world over, the good countries are where academics and practice walks hand in hand. In medical field, that is happening globally, but in many other fields and in the field that you are in, there's a lot that can be done. In medical field, the academics and practice will always be going hand in hand. The hospital, where practice is carried out, where patients are cured, and the academics, all is working together. Ideally, that should be the situation. It is happening in developed nations, and their universities have inbuilt partnerships with governments, with private sectors, with industries, where all research is transferred to the universities. The funds are allocated to the universities. The research that the university, the student, the faculty, everyone together do, that helps the practice world, the business world, the industrial world, the governments to make their processes stronger, make their processes more technology driven, more transparent, more accountable, more responsive, more leakage proof. And that is something that helps both sides. And I wish that such partnerships are further strengthened in this country and in Odisha, and at least between Niger and the government of Odisha, because that will help us a lot and that will help you a lot. So in the field of technology, primarily two things are happening: big data and then analysis of that data. This is where everything is helping us. So big data gets generated and there's a lot of work that can be done, a lot of research that can be done, a lot of engineering that can be done on how to capture big data. And then there is another complete area where how to carry out forensics, data mining, and analysis of this big data. So this is helping in bringing about automation, digitalization world over, and in India also, and in this state also. Governments have moved toward e-procurement. That's a huge blessing from technology. E-tendering. We have a government e-marketplace which has been set up since 2000 16 or so, which is a common platform for all government procurements to be done. It is not completely uh, uh, problem free, but it's a good step towards making procurement uh, uh, free from human interface, making procurement free from discretion, and therefore it uh, does help in most cases to check corrupt practice or corrupt behavior. Websites, extensive use of social media. I keep getting on my Twitter that please, this is the office where a lot of corruption is taking place. Please take action. So technology, as I told you, is helping in reporting of corruption. That's an area where a lot of work can happen, a lot of work can be done. It is making access of information readily available. Sitting in the jungle, you can access open source information of most government finances and government spendings and government works and the progress and things like that. It helps in monitoring efficiency, integrity of the services that governments render. So again, this is the same. So what we were discussing, technology can help in capturing data. CCTVs are becoming now commonplace. Recently, all police stations in Odisha have been covered by CCTV because there's a lot of human right violations that happen in police stations. So what to do about it? So each and every nook and corner of the police station, let's cover with CCTV. So we decided and we implemented, the government agreed, and each and every police station is now CCTV covered, including the surroundings, the front yard, the backyard, the side yard, everything. Then what? The CCTV footage is now important. So it should remain for at least a year, because someone may come and complain after a year that my father was beaten up a year back and he had died and I had run away out of here and now I'm coming and I'm reporting. So we have set up servers that will have storage capacity for a year's data. Why I'm telling this is that these are ways that will not end the practices or the anomalies that may be happening, but that will make it certainly difficult. The entire ball game is let's make corruption difficult. And for this, you all have to come up with, very soon you will be out into the professional world and you would be dealing with these kind of things. And there, this focus will help you in designing and implementing good practices. So biometrics is helping, Aadhaar is helping, laser technology where any movement can be identified, satellite imagery, GIS. We are using satellite imagery. There are a lot of allegations of illegal mining. Now, satellite imagery can give us pictures at various points of time. What was the kind of geographical uh, uh, situation in that particular earmarked area? And the changes in that can give an indication of the amount of excavation, and that can help us in making a estimation of what amount of illegal excavation may have taken place. And we are using these to help us in our investigations. So capturing is something where technology helps. And then analyzing. Our income tax department, you all know, every day they are making themselves more technologically sound. They have big data of everyone. More and more data is being linked. So now if you buy a four-wheeler, your PAN number is being asked. If you buy gold beyond a certain amount, your PAN number is being asked. Any asset generation, these are asked. If you travel abroad, the data from the authorities who are at the immigration posts, that will get transferred. Your bank accounts and other things, everything has got linked. So big data has come. And now what they need to do is analyze these big data. So this big data analysis is a huge field where students need to focus, where technology needs to be devised and upgraded time and again. And the more you do, the more there is to do in this field. So that is helping in identifying income tax uh, leakages, non-filings, evasions, and that is helping them in taking actions. So in the field of prevention, detection, and punishing corruption, also, there's a lot of work that is being done. This is helping in various ways. I've already discussed data mining. I've discussed about the taxation wing and how they are using it. A lot of predictive analysis is done because when you analyze data, you will find anomalies, you will find outliers. And these outliers and anomalies will help you in creating red flags. And then those red flags can be looked at by the supervising authorities, and they can then find corrupt practices, leakages, evasions, and illegal outflow of money, and that can be then bridged. Similarly, fraud analytics is also something that needs to be done. Mobile technology is helping in a big way, even in the villages of rural parts. It has given a huge amount of empowerment. As I told you, that a villager sitting anywhere can talk to me, can message to me, can send a social media message which will be on the social media platform for everyone to see and read and act upon if one wants to. It has also made information accessible to them. And in the anti-corruption field also, there are large amount of applications of this mobile technology. And why I'm saying you, I'm just trying to make you think about these areas which are also relevant, socially very important. As I told you personally also, they are affecting you every day. And anything you do is going to help you, is going to help your family, your future, your society in a big way. So there's a innovation that came up. I paid a bribe. An app was raised and a website was created where everyone can anonymously uh, um, reveal about any bribe way. And this turned into a huge revolution, and that has brought in a huge amount of deterrence in the public servants. So just closing this discussion, what we can say is that it is said that integrity is how you act when no one else is watching you. Our parents have told us this. जब कोई तुमको नहीं देखते तब तुम कैसे बिहेव कर रहे हो, यही तुम्हारी ईमानदारी का सबूत है. Fine, but now technology gives us a lot of scope to keep watching everyone. We are being watched. Where you move is being tracked. Where you are is being known. What you do is also being known. And as technocrats, as people of the field of technology, students of technology, let us tap this and let us do more to make surveillance, supervision ethical, legal, more and more effective. As we must have realized by now, there's no quick fix to end corruption. But yes, let us raise the cost of corruption. And you have a very important role to apply technology in making corruption difficult, in making leakages difficult, in making frauds difficult, in making processes more stronger wherever you are or wherever you will be, in making protocols more accountable, in bringing in better supervision and lesser leakages in the field that you work. Thank you. It was a pleasure interacting with you, and I'm sure in coming days you would all be contributing in your own ways to the cause of transparency, to the cause of anti-corruption, to the cause of growth, to the cause of development. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the inspirational vigilance awareness. More of lecture than of a talk or a discussion. Yeah, this more of lecture. Yeah, thank you very much for that inspirational talk. And yeah, kindly join along with me in thanking Shri Yeshwant Kumar Jethwa ji for the wonderful lecture. As part of the vigilance awareness program, our team has conducted an essay competition for our staffs and students. And the title of the essay competition is My Vision for Corruption-Free India. Altogether, there were 30 people participated in this essay competition, and 8 people from the staff group and 22 from the student group. After the evaluation, the team selected 3 winners from our staff's groups and 3 from the students group. Now I invite the competition winners to collect the certificate, and as sir mentioned, the cash prize will be transferred to your account directly. I request both the directors to hand over the certificate to the competition winners. The winners from the student groups are Shri Amarjit Tripathi. He is around, he can come and collect. Come. He is a third prize winner, integrated MSc batch 21. Second prize goes to Sri Sudhanshu Kumar Ganujia, batch 18, integrated MSc. Sir. And the first prize winner is Mr. Santosh Saurav Sahu, integrated MSc 5th year batch. Winners from the staffs groups are Ms. Sumridhi Kanugo, UDC admin, is a third prize. Second prize goes to Shri Alok Kumar Jana, Technical Staff, School of Biological Sciences. And the first prize goes to Dr. Shyamsri Bose, Scientific Officer at School of Biological Sciences. Thank you, sir. Time now to felicitate our chief guest. I request our director to hand over the memento to the Director Vigilance. A smaller memento is from nicer memento. With this, the program comes to an end. Before concluding, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the people, those who actively involved and participated. In particular, I would like to thank Dr. Pranay Shwain, Dr. Arun Kumar, Sri Dhaneshwar, Sri Prasanna Kumar Madali, Sri Bidyut, Ms. Vishnu Priya, Ms. Sandeepa, Mr. Shiva Prasad, Sri Dibangat Das. Thank you very much for all your kind support. And snacks is arranged outside. Kindly join for the snacks. Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for knowing. Yeah.